This is Nosey with Good Intentions, the podcast.
In every nook and cranny.
This is Michael.
And Kirk. Guiding your noses today.
That worked! Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Technically not.
It's not? No. But 9 minutes, we're good. It's Tuesday night at 11:30 p.m. Even though it's broad daylight.
Little sun coming through the window right here.
Yes, sir.
Just right at us. We're here in the new undisclosed.
We got Buster over here kicking it.
He's alive.
Yes. They still haven't seen him, though. Did they see him last two
Well,
weeks
I
ago?
think because we're higher up. We're sitting up.
In the living room, they might have seen him.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Let us know. Comment below.
So you got a good old Raptors coat today, sir?
Oh God, I was ill prepared today. I will say,
I gotta tell you,
Nikki has a good one. It's in The Night Is Still Young, and it's something for. She says it like right before the chorus comes on, either the first verse or second verse, and it's something to the effect of, "Aim for the stars, but make mistakes though." And I thought that was kind of nice. It was sort of a nice take on.
I knew what you were going to do.
Aim for the moon and you'll land among the stars.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was sort of a good, like, Ricka remix, you know. Thought that was a nice way to say.
I like that.
It's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Good life choices and bad life choices.
Uh-huh.
Here we go with this shit.
It may have been mentioned.
Good morning to you, sir.
So what's been on your mind? Been a whole week.
Well, in light of recent events, by the time this comes out, it will be like a month and a half old news, but whatever. It inspired the topic. So your boy Kanye West been talking crazy. Have you seen any of it?
For years.
Well, like specifically like in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
Okay, so...
Oh, like he doesn't like Jewish people or something?
Yeah, all that shit, yeah. Well, it's not specifically whether you're being anti-Semitic
Calm
or not.
down.
But that going on inspired me to ask, do you think we've gotten a little too far-fetched with freedom of speech? And like you said this morning before, we prepped. You know what I mean? We've dabbled on it a little bit, but like we've never really full-fledged, like, are we getting a little carried away?
I don't know. It's such a hard concept because you have the legal. I mean, freedom of speech is a legal thing.
You're right.
Am I too far away from the microphone?
No, you're fine, sir.
I'm too far away from the microphone. Let me lean over.
Hunchback.
Let me push them together. Well, because you have it's a legal thing.
Right.
And so when you're looking at it legally, there's exceptions to freedom of speech.
Right. You can't talk shit about like you're going to kill the president. I'm not saying we're going to.
That's an example.
Yeah.
But I mean, certain things like you can't incite people to do something.
Like hate speech.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, if that's what he's doing, then that's not protected speech.
Okay. Because I know, like, parody is protected. I think we talked about it. Like,
right,
parody is protected. I don't know the whole list.
To whisper before my video starts. Yeah.
I know parody is protected. I don't know all of them, but I know, like, parody, being able to advocate for, like, women's rights or civil rights.
Like, we have a right to protest.
Yeah.
That's a freedom of speech.
Yeah. Peacefully protest is the key word.
Peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Peaceful protest.
Yeah. Can't be reckless with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Can't be out here fucking everybody. So what is he saying?
Well, like I said, not just specifically him, but just he was saying a lot of things, and I don't know if it's correct or not. I'm not going to act like I know. So I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I am in the middle. Okay. But one of them was not factual. He did say the whole George Floyd, he said he died of fentanyl, which we all watched the video. He didn't die from fentanyl. Okay. The cop's knee was on his neck, clearly. But he said that.
Nitinol? Maybe nitinol. He meant
neck at all.
Knee in the neck.
Yeah.
Knee in the neck at all.
Yeah, yes. Not no goddamn drugs. But that, he said something about to the effect of how Jewish people, I don't know if it's, are you allowed to say Jews? He kept saying Jews, and I don't know if that's
I don't
PC.
think you could say Jews.
Unless you're Jewish, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
you have to
I
say,
can say N-word, but
those who are Jewish.
Okay, there you go. That's why I always say Jewish, even though.
The Jewish people.
Yes. But he was saying wild shit like the Jewish community is, and don't quote me, you can watch it on the Drink Champs interview as well as a bunch of other news outlets. But he was saying stuff like how they own all the banks and how they own all the record labels, and there's always black artists who are signed to Jewish people, but there's no Jewish people signed to black. It was a lot of nonsense. I don't know if it's nonsense. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true. That ain't for me to know. I mean, to announce to the world. But it just
takes me back to slide 1. Who the fuck cares?
Well, that too. Well, he's saying he's being oppressed by the man and all that dumb shit. But he's a bit, well, now he's
You're
not a
not
billionaire.
being oppressed by the man.
No, before all this happened, he was worth like $2 billion and some change. You can't say you're being oppressed and you're worth $2 billion. And he would say shit like, the fashion industry is not giving me a chance. Your shoes are one of the most highest selling shoes out for like the last 10 years, give or take. When he was with Nike, they were doing great. When he's with Adidas, they're doing great.
Has he been assessed mental health?
They say he supposedly is bipolar. I don't know. I ain't never asked him.
It definitely has signs of that. Not that we're diagnosing that. Camera one. We would never do such as diagnose anyone with a mental health disorder. But it definitely sounds like, I mean, it's definitely, it's fitting all the criteria.
He's a little bit bleep.
She's a little polar guy.
That motherfucker crazy. I know we can't say that. That motherfucker crazy.
She's a little
out there.
North and South Pole. Both at the same time.
Yeah.
Bah.
Might be a little tripolar at that.
Well, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's sort of like speech is such a thing that I don't think that I think that people throw around freedom of speech a lot for stuff that
it don't even necessarily. Yeah. Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah, I have noticed that people tend to use freedom of speech as just to be able to their opinion.
Yeah.
But at least from what I remember in school, I thought freedom of speech was to advocate for something, for change in a positive way, not just talk shit about people.
It is, but it's also the ability, like in England, before, our forefeathers
yes.
flocked over here to the native land. In England, you could not speak out against the church.
Okay.
Which was the government.
Right. Because they weren't separate. Yeah.
Correct. Hence, separation of church and state being very important. But you couldn't speak against them. If you said their religion wasn't real, you could be put to death. If you said, I don't really like how you're running this. What about this? What about bringing other people to this? They would just kill you.
Right.
Or imprison you forever.
Yeah. Even if you might be right.
So freedom of speech became, separation of church and state and freedom of opening the beer became very important to our forefathers when they flocked over.
Right.
Because you wanted to be able to say, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing this?
Right.
That's where that comes from. But I think what people now have done, thanks to our Twitter president.
He was a thug.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying our Twitter president, based off of his party affiliation most recently, I don't care about parties, whatever. But she's a lunatic. She's a lunatic human being, not this party, that party, whatever. That's when this whole freedom of speech thing started coming back up again, because she was just saying ludicrous shit.
That wasn't, most of it wasn't factual.
And saying, freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell your audience, if the person near you is not voting for me, beat him up. That's inciting violence. be one of the exceptions of the old FOS, freedom of speech.
Yes. I'm pretty sure a lot of the shit he was saying is why they ran up on the White House a couple years ago. What was that? 2 years ago.
January 6th.
Yeah, January 6th. Thank you, sir.
106.
Yeah.
Not and Park, just 106.
That's what we'll call this, 106 and Park.
But so I mean, there's sort of like anything. There's a delicate balance to you want to be able to say Black Lives Matter. Like that would be an appropriate use of freedom of speech, freedom of protest.
Yeah.
But if they were like, cut his head off,
that's not.
No, probably not.
But I think I think one thing people are not realizing with freedom of speech, whether you're abusing it or not, even if it's like I said, or Black Lives Matter or whatever civil rights movement you're advocating for, there's still potential consequences that go along with it.
Yeah. I mean, you may have the ability to say what you want to say to a certain extent.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you might not lose some friends.
You might get punched in the face.
Might be excommunicated from your family.
Yes.
Might get a little touch of the eye, touch of the nose.
Shiner.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just because you can say it doesn't mean that Bobo can't hit you.
Yes. Yes. But I guess that's why I made me think about that.
They have freedom of punch.
Yes. Freedom of speech does not absolve you from freedom of an ass whip.
Yeah. Can a whoop ass.
Yes. But if you come to find out now, all these companies, and again, this is not just about Kanye, but the consequences of him exercising his freedom of speech, he's no longer worth I think it was 2.3 billion. Okay. He's down to 400 million.
How devastating.
I would love to go down to 400 million. However, I'm just saying that even as a billionaire,
it won't last.
No,
it won't last.
But I'm something else going. He'll be back up there. But I'm just saying that's consequences of
the Dashians. Don't let anybody fall out of the billion category. Which I don't blame them.
I wish this.
Could you adopt me?
Amen.
Pass the Panthers. Adopt me over here. Let me be one of the Dashians.
I'll take it.
Dashian generous. I'll take it. Yeah. I'll work hard. I don't mind work
at all. But I don't think they were down. But anyway,
I don't know.
I mean, not manual labor. I'm just saying
they have a new show on
a new show.
Yeah, it's just called Kardashians.
They probably
Kardashians.
just cut off Keeping Up with.
I think they stopped for a couple of years.
Did they?
Yeah. Anyway, I ran across it. They're doing all kinds of stuff, which is great. I mean,
they live in large. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think they're hard workers in what they do.
Oh yeah. How they go. Yeah. What they do, they work hard at. Yeah. Manual labor, not so much.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not building houses.
Yeah, digging ditches. Kanye's digging his own ditch. He'll be all right.
Bless him.
But do you think there's an instance that it's worth exercising your freedom of speech, even if there are bad? Not the way this idiot did, but I mean, do you think there are instances when it is worth it to exercise your freedom of speech, regardless of consequence?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime there's a change for the better. Well, Black Lives Matter would be a good one. Okay. That's a good example in my mind. A lot of the protests in the 60s, those were all good. Martin Luther King Jr., I mean, he was a target for his freedom of speech,
Yeah, but it's funny. I heard this on another podcast. They're way bigger than we are. But they talked about it, and they mentioned that they don't think Martin Luther King could be. They don't think we could have a Martin Luther King in today's times. And I don't know if I completely agree, but I don't completely disagree either. And the reason why, as Gabby would say, let me explain. I saw your face. You're like, what the fuck?
Go ahead.
No, I think partly it could be done because we do have some leaders. They're not as prominent as what we would, or as heralded as Martin Luther King was, obviously, and still is. But, or like or Muhammad Ali, or, those people, Jim Brown, when they had, I think it was the Senate meeting. I forgot exactly what it was called, but it was Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was Lou Alcindor at the time, a few other people, my man from Mr. Bill Russell, and they had a Senate, they were trying to have a meeting and just, I don't know all the details. I wasn't even alive then. But I know it was for civil rights.
Okay.
But so we do have leaders, but I don't think they're as prominent as they were then, partially because of the internet, and some of it is just not some people are talking good shit, but they ain't about shit. Like they're talking the talk, but they're not walking. Not that I'm doing any of that. We're having a conversation.
You walking that wall.
This is my freedom of speech. But what I'm saying is, I think sometimes we may not give somebody the credit, the benefit of the doubt, or enough leeway to become a Martin Luther King. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, I think some of it, this is just a theory, running theory in my head right now. Based off of what you're saying, I'm wondering if some of that is social media. Mm-hmm. When Martin Luther King Jr. was coming through with civil rights, it was a long road before he was getting covered by news. Like, they did a lot of stuff before the news was like, this is newsworthy.
Yeah.
But he became the face and leader of a movement.
Yeah. He wasn't only person, but he was the front,
But you think now, like, I didn't know that Black Lives Matter has an actual, they're a nonprofit.
Yeah, but supposedly, before you keep going, I don't know how true this is. Allegedly, the organizers of the entity, not what the phrase stands for, but the entity. I don't know how true this is. Supposedly, those people have misappropriated the funds that were donated. I don't know 100% how true that is, so I'm not just throwing it out there. Like, that's been reported a lot. That's part of why Kanye West made the White Lives Matter shirt.
Okay.
Sorry,
it has nothing to do with what I was about to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've already forgotten what I was going to say.
Shit,
so we'll just move on.
An entity. But you were talking about how Martin Luther King was.
Oh, we don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. Do you know who they are?
I know it's 2 women and a dude, I think.
But I don't know their names. You don't know their names.
Yeah. They're not the front of it. Yeah.
Right. But there's also hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of other users
that also hashtag that thing.
That also hashtag Black Lives Matter. Nobody can rise to the top because there's millions of opportunities for millions of people to be that person. Whereas I think Martin Luther King Jr., what were the opportunities?
Right. There was
a news crew had
avenues,
to travel to you.
Yeah.
They had to turn on this big old camera.
Yeah. Not their iPhone.
Right.
Yeah.
Now anybody can take a video, post it, and it's there.
You can tweet.
But I wonder if maybe that to me would be why a Martin Luther King Jr. wouldn't have the same impact.
One person, yeah. So do you consider, I wouldn't call it protesting, but when people do the hashtag, for example, like the example we're using, Black Lives Matter, do you consider that freedom of speech? Or do you think that's freedom of speech? I don't know if I consider that.
I don't know if that rises to the level. Freedom of speech, you have got to remember, freedom of speech is,
in the true sense,
it's a temperature checker.
What do you mean?
Like, if I say it's a beautiful day,
you have the freedom to say that.
I have the freedom to say that. It's not alerting any bells.
Nobody
where they need to pull out the exceptions list.
Right. The FBI ain't knocking on your door like, oh, you said it's a beautiful day.
So I mean, yeah. And so I guess it's one of those, like, just because somebody says something out loud doesn't mean it rises to the level of looking through to see if that is okay speech. Yeah. I would say 99% of the stuff that we say every day, minus Her Majesty the Lunatic.
Right.
But I think also that was because you're such a public figure.
So do you think celebrity or notoriety can cause your freedom of speech to be more impactful? Or do you think what you're speaking freely about?
I think the more famous or more celebrity level you are, the more your speech is scrutinized.
But do you think it's more impactful also, or just?
Yes.
I think it depends.
If I post something inspirational, my 5s of followers.
Heartwarming.
they might feel a sense of joy for a day.
Yeah.
When Obama, with his millions of followers,
Right.
when he goes, here's an inspirational quote, millions of
We're
people
inspired,
see that. Whereas my fives of people just see mine. You know what I mean?
I agree with that, but I also think I had it in my head, it just disappeared. I agree with what you're saying, but for some reason I feel as though when it comes to impact, I think it depends on the messenger also. Even if the message is phenomenal. It could be, hell, I could invent E equals MC squared. But I think if it comes from the wrong person, I think it kind of isn't taken as serious as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is exactly. Kind of like you said, Her Majesty the Lunatic. People was eating that shit up.
Listen, biscuits and gravy, sopping that shit up. Hard as they could sop it up.
And some of it you're like, bro,
Punch
you know
'em.
that's a bullshit.
They're like, punch them, yeah.
Some of that you could look and be like, I don't think grass is purple. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, some of it
I did.
Yeah.
My dad asked me, he was like, I just don't understand, like, why would you not vote? Like, you can believe him. And I went, yeah, I believe him. That's why I don't want to vote for him.
I believe
because I believe everything that he's saying. That
he
his
believes it.
narcissistic, lunatic craziness. He will find some way to make it happen, and I don't want it.
Yes.
I don't know why y'all want it, but I don't want it.
They building that wall,
But you have the right to vote in whatever way you want to.
But you know, I did realize because I used to talk mad shit about voting. I used to be like, that shit don't do nothing. It ain't. But I have come to realize. On a national level. I don't know about locally. My lips is a little crusty. I want to be
okay.
cracked and bleeding on the camera. You know what I'm saying? But just audio wouldn't matter. But they can see me. So I got to put some moisture on the lips. Moisture on the lips. No, we ain't gonna go there.
I thought you said, I've got pussy moisture on the lips. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's
moisture.
what I heard. No. You said, I've got to put some moisture on my lips.
I did.
And what I heard through the microphone was, I've got pussy moisture on my lips.
I wish you could call it that. Pussy moisture on my lips. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I said.
And I was like, oh, good for you.
There's no vagina in the room.
Yes. She did that.
I do like a good pussy moisture on my lips. But anyway, that's not the conversation for today, sir. No, oh Lord, you got me totally distracted.
As a gift.
Yeah, it's not like a good pussy on my face. Oh, excuse me.
Want to say it again?
One more time.
Any volunteers?
No, hell no, I don't do it to everybody. But no, damn, what was I saying? You finally fucked me up for once.
You're welcome. Now you know how it feels.
What the hell was I saying? That good moisture distract you by. I don't know what the hell we was talking about.
You were talking while you were putting moisture on your lips.
I had my we was talking about the idiot and then
voting.
Oh, that's what. Thank you, sir. Okay, so good save.
2 for 2. Just in case you're keeping track out there, 2 for 2.
No, I used to think that voting was kind of bullshit and it don't matter who I vote for, blah, blah, blah. But I have come to realize, especially with this last election, with Georgia and how that went and a few other things, I'm not sure who the powers that be were doing this, but I do know that if they're suppressing people's ability or making it more difficult to vote, obviously it's important.
Right.
Because a motherfucker ain't gonna block you from doing something that means nothing.
Right.
So I have a change of heart on my thought of national voting. Yeah. Not statewide.
Well, the problem is that local voting is just as important, and I
think it's probably more important.
Probably
because it directly impacts.
And we have a tendency to not be so focused.
Nah, because it
happens so freaking often though.
Yeah, I don't even know what these are now. That's going.
I'm like,
on.
Even if it was a person that I wasn't too fond of, like, girl, give her 4 years at least. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
I realize that
we're doing this every other year, or every other year. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot to keep up with.
I ain't scared to say who I voted. I voted for Biden. During that election, when I went to the polls, it had for my undisclosed location. Outside of like president, vice president, like the big stuff, the rest of it, some of them didn't even have somebody they were running against, which blew my mind.
Oh, so I found this out. I don't know if you know, camera one. I'll fill you in.
Okay.
So some of those positions, even though they're the only person there, they still have to get a percentage of the votes.
Then what happens if they don't?
Revote.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this sounds childish, but the ones that didn't have anybody.
You said, fuck her.
No, I put like Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker, Tony Stark. Because I didn't know who the fuck it was. I'm not just going to give you my vote just because your
Just
name's
skip
on
it.
there. Oh, I didn't know
You don't have to click everything.
Oh, you don't? Well, see, I grew up.
Listen, I found this thing out real quick. Let me click camera one just in case you didn't know. You don't have to click every box.
I'll be trying to. No, don't tell nobody.
You heard it here.
First. Episode 90.
More on that at 11.
Freedom of speech, baby. No. Shh, don't tell nobody. No, but I really did. I really did. I put
Edit
like
that part
no, but I did put like superhero name for because you're not getting my vote just because my grandmother, growing up, I used to say my black grandma and my white grandma, even though they're both black, but my white grandma is just mixed, or she's like I don't know. No, I mean ethnically, I'm not 100% of all of her races, but I know she's not 100% black. But she's lighter than I am.
She's 100%.
She's like your complexion. Of course. That's my baby. But so my other grandma.
That's all that matters.
My dad's mom was my black grandma. But she always said, you vote Democrat straight down the line. And I didn't want to just do that.
I will say, picking a party and going vote all. That is a little easier. I saw
that option. That blew my mind.
Well, it's always been there. It is a little easier.
I only voted for like the last. Let me not lie.
You're a bad person. So, you're a bad citizen. Whatever.
At least I'm honest.
Did you catch that, camera one? Everything he said today was honest.
I didn't say that. I said currently I'm being honest.
Camera one.
It be snitching. How do you, sir?
Listen, what did I tell you earlier?
I'm telling all.
Listen, Michael tried to say that I shat on him through the
all
podcast.
The time.
And I said, no.
What'd you do?
I don't have to.
I shit on myself.
You tell fibs, and I look at camera one, and me and camera one say, this line, motherfucker.
I know not what you do, sir.
And then you go, you trying to call me out? Still have said nothing.
Your face says it
so
all.
You lie and then call yourself out.
You give good face.
Well, I've been told. It has been mentioned.
Anyway. What the hell are we talking about? Oh, shit.
But no, I mean, I would say
Democrat,
if you're like, I don't know who to vote for. If you just pick one of the parties and go vote all, it is a lot easier because it does it for you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at least pick the ones at the top, the ones you've heard of.
Well,
shit.
Well, I mean, I would imagine, not that I'm saying that everybody, because my thing is like, I'm registered as independent.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know. There's pros and cons to both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, every side has their crazies.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you're like, fuck these boys, they're talking about my crazy ex-president.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, girl.
I ain't gonna say all my beliefs, but there's some that I do actually believe in that are on the Republican side. There's some on the Democrat side.
Well, but I think also some of it too is like, you can tell that the focus is a little different. Like,
what you mean?
The Republican Party as a whole tends to be a little more monetary focused.
Yeah, they try to get that paper.
Taxes, money.
Yeah, less
Whereas the Democratic Party tend to talk more about people.
Yeah.
Social interest. And so it's hard to even compare the two because they're really not having the same conversation.
At all.
But for me, currently, I vote for survival.
Yeah, you vote your interest, which you're supposed to.
I had a person that was like, well, I vote for the best for my family. And I may or may not have said, that's privilege. The fact that you get to vote for your quote, family. What's best for your family, in my mind is a privilege. Because currently I'm voting, I have to pick the party that thinks I should be dead or the party that's like, we'll throw you a few crumbs. Crumbs it is.
Yes.
I don't get to go, I wonder what they think about this issue or that issue. I don't have that privilege.
Ditto.
I gotta
How do we come together and make a podcast?
Crumbs. I'll take a few crumbs over death.
Yes, we get fake promises from one party and we don't
give
a fuck.
Fake promises and leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, boo. Thanks, Dee Dee.
I'm just saying it's the truth, though. So, we get
Just saying. Listen, you can tell me all day you love me. Leave me the hell alone.
Yeah, but you can't piss on me and tell me it's raining. And I think both parties do that. Just in their own way.
Well, no, one party says you should die.
Well, yeah.
And I go, I believe you.
Yeah, so no thank you.
So crumbs.
I'm about to...
Potential crumbs.
Take this hoodie off real quick. A little warm.
Oh. Geez.
No, you're fine. Okay. The burr.
Oh, burra. Burra. Purple burra.
Yeah.
Purple burra today.
Don't worry about what kind it is. It's just beer.
Not Dragon Ball Z.
Man, I'm a Dragon Ball Z. Hey, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Do you know Toys R Us don't exist anymore whatsoever?
See, that was the truth.
I don't want to grow up.
And I looked at camera one. I looked at camera one and we said, this motherfucker telling the truth right now. He ain't never lied.
What's wrong with this?
That's what me and camera one were saying. He ain't never lied.
You know what it was, even without reading the name, didn't you?
Well, I saw the person. I saw the kid. What? No. Your microphone is covering up Goku. But I saw the little kid. I don't know their names.
Goku, Gohan.
Whatever. I don't know their names. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I used to love to watch it. But I haven't watched it forever.
Yeah, that was the shit. They brought it back out. They got Dragon Ball Super. It's supposed to fix all the dumb stuff that Dragon Ball GT messed up. It went Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. GT is trash. Okay. So Super is on Hulu. It's supposed to kind of fix. It's supposed to be the bridge between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT. I didn't really watch a lot of GT because I heard so much bad about it, but that's a story for another day. But yes, I still enjoy a good Dragon Ball Z. Me and my son was watching it.
Okay.
We're going to watch it this weekend. Hey. Y'all don't know what weekend that is. But we're going to watch it this weekend. Hey. Understand? So yes, I don't want to grow up. That's fine.
I just wanted to say that you vocally say that I shat on you.
You do.
But what I do is me and camera one.
You confirm or
we
not confirm.
We have a little chit chat.
Oh Lord.
Usually what we're saying is that's a lying motherfucker right there. Or he ain't never lied. The look is similar.
I'm sure.
But camera one knows. We know
the difference.
Yeah.
They see.
Oh yeah. We know.
So Dragon Ball Z. So is there any instance have you ever wanted to exercise your freedom of speech and or have you?
I think so.
No, I mean, like, whether it be, I know we joked a while ago about being like, I don't march, I don't protest, I don't do that, I just get paid to be there. But have you ever done any of that?
No.
Damn. Nah, bro.
No, I took this course called... So
you went to school?
No. I signed up for this workshop.
Oh.
I loved it though. Seeing Whiteness was the name of it. I said, ooh, I see her. I'm kidding.
It's so familiar.
I'm like, oh, Whiteness? I think I know her. She grew up on Red Rock, right?
I see her in the mirror every day.
She wakes me up in the morning.
Man.
But no, one of the group conversations, we were talking about some pipe thing. I don't know, wasn't there a pipe thing a few years ago?
A who? Pipe?
There was like protesting for the water or something about the water.
Oh, Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
I think
I don't really know about it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
okay.
So they brought that up and I went, yeah, that sounds terrible. And so the person, running it was like, well, do you, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course I care, right now in this moment.
Camera 2 ain't give two fucks about that.
No, I mean, I was like, oh God, that sounds awful. Like
the concept.
I'm glad that, I'm glad that it's being brought up and talk, and being talked about.
Okay.
And she goes, well, have you done anything about it? And I went,
no.
Had
she done anything about it?
I don't know. And so she was like, well, what do you think someone should do? And I said, well, they told somebody. And so eventually she goes, so you don't really care about it?
No.
And I went, no, not really. I guess not. And she went, well, no, that's not what I was trying to say. And I was like, well,
that's what she was trying to say.
I said, well, turns out you're right.
And that's okay.
And I think she was upset because I think she was trying to get me to care. And I was like, I don't
give a fuck.
You're just showing me that I don't care.
Yeah, you just clarify that I don't give two fucks.
My privilege that I don't live there.
Yeah. As fucked up as that
it's sort of like Florida.
What about Florida?
I always think about Florida because, we're very close.
But so far away.
Pretty much. In the foothills of Minnesota.
Yes, sir. Or in the valley.
Or the Valley of California.
I like the fact that people who know us know where we live.
Yeah.
But the people who don't know us is like, where the fuck they live at?
Bouncing all over them. We're bouncing all over these states. Well, it helps also that we've lived in a few places.
That too.
So we actually have a few references to throw out there real quick. But I always think about Florida and I'm like,
it's its own country.
I don't know if I could live there. So you can mark Florida off your map. I don't know if I could live there. First of all, it's
Pensacola.
First of all, it's hot year round. Like hot.
Yeah.
And then when it stops being so hot,
it's humid.
Hurricanes.
That too.
And I'm like, I just don't sound.
Y'all can't win.
They
just had one like a month ago, didn't they?
Yeah. And and I'm like, I'm all right. I'll stay where I'm at.
No bueno.
And then people's got bad water, and I'm like, I'm good. I'll stay right here.
In Florida?
No, whatever that was.
Oh, Flint, Michigan. You like that place I ain't give a fuck about.
In Flint? Is that about?
It's Flint, Michigan.
Is it about Flint, Michigan?
That's the water.
In Flint?
I don't know.
The porn thing. The whole porn. No, that was Larry Flint.
You nasty.
The people versus Larry Flint. I think the movie was called In Like Flint.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I didn't get to watch it. I just heard it.
Me neither, clearly.
Yeah.
In Like Flint.
You have to look it up. Let me know. Comment below if that's
horrible.
Correct.
No, I mean, I will say Florida's kind of its own. That's where the Pensacola, Florida, that's where the guy ran into me intentionally. Yeah, it was in a club. It was.
That sounds like Pensacola.
I know, right? Hey, thug, not out that bitch.
Yeah. One of our coworkers.
No. Oh, yeah.
I lived there for a while.
Sorry to hear that. But the area is very nice. It's 2 bases out there.
Oh.
Yeah, they got the naval, the pilots, the naval pilots. There's one base where they learn how to fly, or I don't know exactly. I wasn't an officer, but then the other base where I was at is where it's. Let me not tell all these military.
So okay, I thought the Navy was the boat and the Air Force was the plane.
What's funny is the Navy has the most pilots in all of the branches. Isn't that crazy? Even though the Air Force is the air.
So why doesn't the Air Force? Is it just numbers?
I think so. If I'm not mistaken, I believe so. But we have the most pilots. I say we.
I don't know why, but I always thought that the Navy was the boat. The Marines are the Army is the one that runs out first.
No, the Marines usually the Marines call us taxis. The boats taxis because we take them to
ship them.
You ship them. Yes.
But isn't Army's the front line?
I don't know how they get over there. I think they get over there by plane, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe they go to the Air Force.
They see 130 going down the strip. That's one of the march chants that you run to. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about unless you were in the military.
You're welcome. Military jargon for the day. I'll have my Raptors quote and you'll have your military chant of the day.
No, I don't even reference it.
No, but
you're horrible.
Maybe that's the Air Force is their
that's their chant.
Their transportation was the word I was thinking.
Maybe.
But yeah, for some reason I thought like the boat is the Navy. Mm-hmm. The people that get off the boat to fight are the Marines.
Yeah.
And the people that fly the planes are the...
No, most of them are actually
But the
naval.
Army's got to be somewhere in there, and I don't know where I thought they were. I thought the Army went first.
They did.
And then the Marines were behind them to be ready to go in next.
I got jokes, but I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm going to go ahead and offend them. The Army is the bullet catchers. And then the Marines...
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, then that's the joke. But yeah, the Army runs in, they catch the bullets.
Yeah.
And then the Marines go behind them and clean all that shit up.
Uh-huh.
And then the Air Force and the Navy, we just pew, pew, everybody gonna die. We just shoot missiles and shit. We don't be on the front lines. I ain't gonna try to lie. I know some people, I was on the front, I went to Iraq, but I was not on nobody's front line. I don't claim to be no war hero, none of that shit. I was a computer guy. I was safe and sound most of the time.
I don't know if that's still safe and sound though.
I was in Iraq too. Don't get me wrong.
Because you weren't down the street.
No, hell no. At this
working a computer.
No, hell no.
You were in the rack.
Yes. I was in the sandbox working a computer.
Yeah, you were in the rack.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, I was like, hey, were you in combat? I was like, no, I didn't get it. I don't lie and be like, yeah, I was shooting the shit out of my gun. Pew, pew, pew. No, I'd be like, no, I was doing flight manifestations and I was...
What's a flight manifestation?
Getting our guys in and out. Setting notes, scheduling it. I was a scheduler. Huh?
Isn't that manifest?
What?
Isn't that manifest?
That's what I said.
Is that manifestation?
No, I said a flight manifest.
Can't rewind.
Did I not say that?
No, you said flight manifestation.
Oh, that's the act of creating. Whatever. You know what the hell I meant.
I just wondered. No. I just because I was going to say, oh my God, is manifest short for manifestation?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think so.
Yeah, it is.
I thought manifest was like a book.
No.
Or like a spreadsheet on the computer.
Technically,
like a document.
Yes.
Document.
Or a spreadsheet.
documents.
Yes,
documentation.
Sure our guys got in and out safely.
Right. But
and
manifestation is like creating something.
Yeah, we created a spreadsheet.
Manifested.
I created the spreadsheet.
Okay.
It was more than that, obviously, but that's a
Then we had Manifest
summary.
Destiny, whatever.
Vision board and manifesting greatness and all those good things. Yes.
Anyway, I was like, oh God. I was like, oh, I'm going to learn it today.
I get it, man.
Look at education.
But no.
Look at skill at teaching the children.
No, sir. But no, I'm trying to think of a time when I may have exercised my freedom of speech. And
technically, aren't we doing it now?
well, I mean, outside of talking shit on the microphone with a headphone and a computer, but have I ever done it? I one time, but it wasn't.
What'd you say?
I didn't say shit. I just helped to advocate others. So I guess I never have.
You didn't say anything? How did you advocate?
So we had this Juneteenth this gathering downtown. One of the places I've lived. I'll tell you about it when we get done. And so I personally did not say much of anything, but I helped to. What's wrong?
I'm just wondering with our microphones.
I know they're pretty close, aren't they? I thought about that since like the first 5 minutes we started, but we're here now.
We in this bitch now.
Yeah, but no, I have it's called a noise gate, so hopefully it reduces some of the. If not, I'll just sit on the other end of the table. Okay. Next time.
Yeah,
we
can do that.
All right, I'll move now. But no, so it was a Juneteenth get together. Matter of fact, the one I told you about where we could potentially be a vendor for the pod.
Oh,
I think that was the one. Yeah, wait.
We were going to set up with Gabsy.
Yeah, there you go. So I was out there and helped.
We didn't.
No, we didn't. So
in case you're wondering.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we didn't see that. It wasn't in the sea. So I helped like serve food and stuff like that. And so I didn't personally have any speech or freedom there. I just was helping. I was a helping hand for others to give freedom of speech.
Freedom of service.
Yeah, I damn sure didn't get paid. But I did have a good time. I also helped, like I say, help clean up. My vehicle was freedom of service. You know what I'm saying? My vehicle transported some things.
Okay.
So, yeah, but no, I have never... Black Power! No, I haven't done any of that, and I won't claim to have done it.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. I was near it, though.
Would you throw a rock and hit somebody?
No. I was near... they had the peaceful protest.
Okay.
And then around the peaceful protest, was the white people trying to like make it look like the black people weren't
the
peacefully
bullshit,
protesting. And so I did a job near there, My Pole.
Mm-hmm.
It's the name of the place, My Pole, if you want to look it up.
There's a million of those, but go ahead. P-O-L-L or P-O-L-E?
P-O-L-E. My stripper pole.
Hey, my dog.
So I used to do a job there, stripping. And they were trying to figure out if they were even going to open because they were nervous
amongst the chaos,
that they weren't nervous about the peaceful protesters just walking.
All the fuck shit around.
They were worried about the white hood trying to be
These black
crazy.
folks are doing it. You're like, where'd you get this pallet of bricks from?
Yeah.
It's so organized.
But I did go.
Okay.
I was okay. I survived.
Clearly.
But the parking deck that I parked in, someone was beat up in that parking deck.
Damn.
While I was
scripping.
Just scripping hard as I could script.
Hard as I could script.
And I felt bad.
Did you see him?
No. I heard about it the next day.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I ain't trying to do some scripting.
That was crazy.
Somebody's getting their ass whipped.
Yeah.
Okay, damn.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Any other time? Would you do it if somebody asked you to? Maybe not a whole speech like "I have a dream," but somebody.
I wonder what my version of "I have a dream" would be.
I had a scream. That was fucked up. I'm sorry.
That needs to be a good.
Michael
one.
had a scream. What would you say?
I think part of me,
yes, sir,
would want to do something funny because I think that would be more memorable if it was fun.
Funny?
I don't know why. Is it cutting out on your side when I say funny? Funny. Oh, there it is. Okay.
No, it's got to have enough
came all the way
volume
through.
to push
funny.
Funny. Would you want to do it at Pride or just?
I don't know.
You can do it at Black Lives Matter March.
What if I got up there and I said, and all God's children said, pussy moisture? And everybody in the audience was
Amen. Nah, all the brothers be like, amen.
They'd be like, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I think if I was going to inspire the children.
Pussy moisture.
I don't know. I don't know what I
What
might
would your
say.
opening line be?
Because then the next thing that pops in my head was that video of that girl going, "Stop sucking dick." That's so funny to me.
That and pussy moisture don't go together. Those are two.
Well, you got to bounce between the two. Got to catch everybody. Got to catch everybody. Everybody got to feel seen and heard.
Yes.
I don't know what I would say. I think I would start with something like sentimental.
I like about to say cinnamon.
What?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Did I tell you my sentiment story?
No.
About the lady. I think it was me and Charlotte Swirl. We were at this place getting food. Mm-hmm. And the lady behind the counter, the lady in the back, she said, "What kind was it?" And then said a kind. And the lady at the counter said, "I told you, sentiment." And I just turned around because I was like, I can't see her. She clearly
was African American.
I didn't say that.
I said it.
I didn't say that.
You know it.
Well, I was there, so I know the actual.
She was African American. White people don't say sentiment.
But I thought she
so.
thinks that's the word. And if she sees me laugh, I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the fact that she screamed that at the woman and she's at her place of employment.
Sentiment.
So first of all, you said the word incorrectly.
There ain't no T's in sentiment.
But you also screamed it, and so we all heard it. So it wasn't like you just said, "Oh, girl, it's sentiment." And just like maybe one person heard it. So now you've screamed. So I'm thinking, oh God. So I just turned around and I just laughed to myself with my back turned. But that was I'll never forget. That was so funny.
She said, "What you put on your sweet potatoes? A little butter, a little marshmallow sentiment." That's a whole different word.
I told you, sentiment. And I thought, wow. I had to put my face up, had to put my guard up.
I would have like, ooh, yeah, woo. Yeah. That's not, sentiment is sentiment. That's a whole other word.
Yeah.
Sentiment.
Yeah. Just a random T thrown in there.
That's all like two.
Is it?
Sentiment.
No, the sentiment.
Oh, I was that's just as bad.
Yeah. No extra T. Just the one extra T, not the extra T at the end.
That was freedom of speech at its finest.
I forgot why I was telling that story. Oh, you thought I was going to say cinnamon.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
I think I would say something sentimental.
Yes.
Sentiment.
Yes, sir.
Just to like lull you in.
Okay.
Like,
so what would your I have a dream speech start with?
Maybe like, well, as we faggots gather here today. Just so they go, what?
He talking to me, girl.
Oh, that sounds horrible. I think that's how it would start.
You stupid.
Just so I can see where my people were.
Amen. Amen. Yes, bitch.
Snapping in the background.
You horrible.
Yeah.
That's what you said. You said, all my what's across America? Is that what you said?
I said.
I gotta hear it again.
As all those faggots gather here today.
You stupid. Yeah, so I might hit him with that Jeezy, hit him with that church. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Make it sound like it's going to be something. And then just pepper in a little.
A little sasson.
A little sasson.
A little sasson. You all right, miss. I guess. I don't know. It was a black dude already said it for us, so I ain't got to do that. Thankfully.
What would be the new one? What would be the updated I Have a Dream?
All the street niggas bow your heads. All my street niggas bow your heads. Put something in the air.
Lighters.
Light it up.
Put your lighters up.
No,
play
put
Lil'
something
Kim.
in the air
Lighters
as in
up.
blunts. Light it up. So see, I asked my street equestrians, which is a horse, but it sounds fancy, to bow our heads.
All my street horses. Where are my street horses at?
All my street pharmaceutical representations. What would it be word?
Reparations.
All my street pharmaceutical reparations. The hotness.
You could just go Sentiment, Pontiac, Porsche. Y'all hear, girl?
What'd you say about that Honda the other day?
La Honda.
La Honda.
La Honda, you here too, girl? La Celica. I bet you that's a name. La Celica.
That's a Toyota, sir.
I guarantee
used to have one.
Listen, camera one, I need you to find La Celica for me. I guarantee you there is a La Celica.
And it's probably spelled just like Toyota Celica, just
with
L-A.
law. Yep.
Or L-E. Might be both. One of each.
I guarantee you there's a La Celica.
That's fine.
Because there's Angelica, La Celica.
Yeah. It's probably there.
La Honda might be a stretch.
I'm going to Google that shit in Instagram in a minute.
Yeah.
I don't even got nothing else for this shit.
Well, I think overall we
Yes, sir.
throw the phrase freedom of speech out a lot.
We do.
But there's very little speech that actually is on that line where you have to look at it like, is this legal or is it not? Like there's very few actual instances of that. But freedom of protest, I think, is what we tend to put under.
Even if all of it's not genuine protest.
Because I think they are sort of similar, but freedom of protest is supposed to be, this is what's being done, this is what we think should be done,
Right.
and this is why.
Right, because typically that's with some form of oppression.
Yeah.
No, not 100% obviously, but typically it's you're being oppressed in some way, shape, or form. Not just, oh, Versace they won't make my shirts. It's fucking Versace. You're worth $2.3 billion. Sit your monkey ass down.
Can I ask you a weird question? I don't know if I should ask you on the podcast.
Ask me anyway. What, the monkey
You
comment?
say monkey ass a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
That's not just for black people.
is that offensive? Because
I can say it. I don't know if you can. I'm not going to be the one to tell you can't, but I'm not sure if you can.
well, there's a song in there, Shake That Monkey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, It's not offensive.
I don't
Do you know
know.
what I'm saying? Like, we're all from apes.
Well, I don't believe that, but go ahead.
Whatever.
We already talked. That's
Whatever.
conversation.
Let's just pretend it's real.
Okay.
Like we pretend other things are real.
I'm just saying that this is not just because I believe in God. All jokes aside, if we come from monkeys, then why?
I thought you weren't going to tell me your beliefs.
Well, I am now. Just for a quick second. If we come from monkeys, why do monkeys still exist? I've always wondered that. If that's the argument. Because if we evolve from monkeys, then what we evolved from shouldn't exist anymore, right? Because they would have died off as the weaker species or whatever. No? I'm just asking.
I don't think that's how that works. I don't know that. I'm not Charles Darwin. But
I'm not a scientist. Continue.
Here on the Educational Podcast.
No education.
Let's just say,
okay.
Because I think we share 99.9% of our DNA with gorillas or apes. I think it might be apes. Right?
And I'm about to say amphibians. That is not
whatever.
correct.
Anyway, so let's say it's apes. We're 99.9% ape. All of us. But for whatever reason, Black people tend to be more equated with the monkeys. For whatever reason.
Not the monkeys.
That I don't understand. The monkeys.
I don't know. We've been compared to animals for a long time. I think that's
Has it been more than monkeys?
Fuck yeah.
I don't know.
Just less than in general. But yeah, different animals and it just...
I hear you, girl.
You stupid. I'm just saying, it's kind of like we're all humans, so, but yeah.
We all are the same
We're
race.
all God's people. All children. Well, all God's children, excuse me.
The human race.
We're all the amphibians' children.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but if it's used colloquially in the Black community, is it still offensive? Like when you say your monkey ass, are you meaning it negative or is it supposed to be funny?
Or
is
it be funny?
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
but
are you putting them down by calling it with your monkey ass? Or is it
with your crazy ass, with your silly ass? It just, yeah.
But is that negative?
I mean, isn't the word crazy now not PC anymore?
I think it's when you say
that bitch crazy.
That bitch crazy.
What's the difference between that bitch crazy and your crazy ass? Essentially, if not you, but if a person took it literal.
I'm just asking.
I don't know.
The monkey part.
I don't know. I say it. But I'm also...
You say it a lot.
But I'm also of African-American descent. So I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
For the monkeys, by the monkeys.
Wow. That's racist. That's racist as a motherfucker.
I was trying to get it back to food, but I couldn't get it back there.
That's racist as a motherfucker.
Well, we have For Us By Us, but it's not called For Us By Us.
What's yours? Tommy Hilfiger.
Well, that's for everybody.
I can't tell.
Well, Tommy Hilfiger was very popular.
Oh yeah,
for a long time. I don't know if it is now.
But we have historically worn the shit out of designers that didn't even want us to wear the shit. Okay. That's been for a long time. Because never mind, let's not go down that trail. All I'm saying is we have historically thought that expensive clothing signifies self-worth, which is why we buy expensive shit. Not all of us. Historically, a good bit of us will buy expensive shit even though we can't afford it. Anyway.
Oh, we have talked about that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Lahondo.
Well, on that note,
let's get the fuck out of here.
noseywithgoodintentions@gmail.com.
Yes. Very morbid.
Let us know your thoughts. If you have any questions or just want to drop a little hello,
I let Kurt know he's racist.
I didn't mean to be.
I already told you. If somebody ever were, all jokes aside, camera 1 and 2, or 2 and 1. If anybody ever got some smoke for us, I got you. I ain't tripping off that shit.
Well, I am interested. Like, asking a real question. Because I said the packet over here, and I mean, some people of my community might be like, "Girl, shut up, stop saying that." I love that word now. I hated it when I was a kid. I love that word now.
Why?
Because I just do.
Well, I know why you hated it at first, because obviously you're being called on. Yeah.
Well, why
you love it?
It's different when it's used against you.
Yeah.
If you're just like, "Hey, man."
So another gay person can say,
"Yeah, sure."
Like, yes!
I'd be like, "Oh, hey, boo."
But my straight I'd be like, "What up, F-word?" You're like, "What up, N-word?" You're like, "Got you back, motherfucker." He's never done that. I'm just saying, and I've never called it that.
In private,
in public or private, I've never said that.
noseywithgoodintentions@gmail.com. We also have an Instagram, Nosey with Good Intentions. You can send us a message there as well. We'd love to hear from you. Hadn't heard from anybody for a while. Would love to hear from you.
They don't fuck with us no more.
That's okay. We're still going to be here every week.
Absolutely.
At least for now. You never know.
We'll see you next Tuesday. 11:30.
Definitely you. Yeah, you. Yeah, that one. You. So, no, not her. You. Yeah. If you're listening on your podcast interface,
Yes, sir.
please make sure that you rate us the maximum number of stars and subscribe. And continue to listen.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your listen. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
If you like to watch. We're here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Michael also does some reels. It's got a new one.
It's not new now. Motherfucker.
If you just click your mouse over to the left, you'll find it.
Not on the YouTube page.
No, it's not on the YouTube. It should be, though.
No.
You can also click your mouse to the right. Either way, you'll find it. Nosey with Good Intentions. Is that on TikTok?
Mm-mm.
Is it on Reels? YouTube? Reels? What's Reels?
Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram Reels.
I was like, what?
Is it on Nosey?
No, it's just on my page.
Skillet.
It
It's
has
on-
nothing to do with Nosey.
Is Michael _ It has Nosey. I thought you were
Well,
wearing a Nosey shirt.
Am I?
Yeah, in one of the flashes.
That's cool.
Nosey Brond is there. That's Michael _ Skillet _ Chappelle.
I'm not coming back up here. Or down here.
Or over.
Pretty much. Is that on?
Oh, Twitter. Nosey Good.
That motherfucker
You can find
is
us there.
struggling, boy.
Nosey Good. She's gimping along.
She got
Gimpy
19
Twitter.
little followers.
Aw. Well, thank you, 19. Hello.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we know all of them.
Fine. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
At all.
Our 19s of followers. We also have Snapchat.
Yeah.
If you have Michael's number, it'll come up as him. However, you have him saved in your phone. If you don't have him saved in your phone, it will come up as Nosey with Good Intentions. Nosey with Good Intentions. We have a TikTok Nosey podcast. Is it Nosey podcast?
I think it is. I think it's
Nosey
because
podcast.
I tried to put the whole thing. It was too long. I believe.
Better than Nosey.
Nosey Good.
I don't know if you've been an avid listener for a while, you know that I shat on Nosey Good and said you should have just done Nosey Podcast, and then we had a then we had a TikTok called Nosey Podcast.
Absolutely. I think Twitter. Wait, Twitter. Yeah.
I think that's it.
I think it is.
We'd love to hear from you. And if you have a topic that you'd like to hear us shit on or talk about,
That's why nobody's emailing. They're like,
Let
oh,
us
you ain't gonna shit on my
know.
topic.
well, you can just email us and say, I don't want this to be featured on the podcast, and we'll just read it and laugh.
That's fair. Thank you for listening to our Nose Nuts.
See you next time.